Hello, welcome to part 2 of our full walkthrough of the 2025 Guangzhou Auto Show. We're down here in the basement. We've got 5 halls in this particular section of the video. We've got another 4 after that, so do check out part 3. If you haven't already seen part 1, go and check out part 1 first. You'll get a kind of image of what's going to come here in part 2. But we're going to start here. I'm going to start showing you around these 5 halls pretty quickly. So let's dive right in. And we're going to start here at the Hongqi sunflower stand. Let's see if they will let us in. Will they let us into the stand?
No, sorry.
Can we get in now?
No.
Okay, so they're not letting us in this time. They did in Chengdu, being a bit less friendly. There are a lot of people on the stand, to be fair. Maybe there's some famous people on there. So we're not going to get into the Hongqi sunflower stand. If you do want to see a little bit more about these cars, you can check out our Chengdu Auto Show video, which was a few months ago. You can find in the text down below on the bottom of the video where the Hongqi sunflower section is. You can go and see what China's fanciest brand looks like. Sunflower is the brand that the president uses in China. I'll give you a bit of an insight from the side. This is, I believe, called the Voyah, this one. This is, I think it has a 4-litre V8 engine in there. Very luxurious, lots of wood and metal and fancy stuff. It does seem there's a fancy presentation going on over here. Some people having a closer look at some of their nicer cars. They didn't seem to bring any concept cars today though, which is a shame, because their concept cars are pretty wild and epic. Again, just check those out on our Chengdu Auto Show video. By the way, if you want to view this video and just find the brands that you like, do check the timestamps in the bottom of the video and you'll get to see what's going on. So what have we got here on Hongqi Normal? Well, there is Hongqi Sunflower, Hongqi Normal and Hongqi New Energy. They're not called Normal, but that's just how I'm going to describe them. New Energy is their EV brand. So this car, just in front of me here, is the Tiangong, sorry, it's not, it's the EH7, what we're talking about. There is a Tiangong 05, I'll come on to that in a moment. This is the EH7, you'll see. It's actually quite interesting inside, this interesting colour, this kind of minty green, kind of nice soft materials. Hongqi have been a bit, as China's oldest car brand, they've been a little bit skeptical, a bit difficult moving into electric cars. They've now got quite a few of them. I'll show you them on this stand here, but it's just been a slow change. They're not quite at the forefront of electric cars yet, but nevertheless quite nice. Got an interesting kind of BMW shaped screen there in the middle. It's nice to have something that isn't just a rectangle tablet. It's built in. I know a lot of people prefer to have a built-in screen. It's nice stuff up top, nice soft touch materials, and then harder stuff down there at the bottom. But overall, these are not bad looking cars. Reasonable rear seats, as you can see. They're just nothing exciting. There's nothing particularly special about the Hongqi electric cars at the moment. Apart from the EHS9, if we've got one of those, I'll show you one of those. They've got the Tiangong 06. This is, I think, the newest one of these. It's an SUV, as you can see, kind of a medium, small to medium sized SUV. If I can dive into maybe the driver's side, because nobody's currently in there. And actually, I never thought I'd see a Hongqi in pink, by the way. This is a very interesting colour scheme. But I see very similar to the other one, only they've gone for the tablet screen at the front, single wireless charger there, lovely cream seats down here. Got sort of real wood, I think that's real wood. No, it's not, it's kind of a microfiber with a wood grain on it, so that's all right. But yeah, just kind of squidgy stuff. Again, just kind of just ambling along with relatively nice electric cars. I'll tell you what, this is a wrap. You can see it's a pink wrap on top of the usual green colour. So probably just kind of some kind of promotion, I would say. As you can see, they're actually all right to look at, pretty decent. Again, just nothing exciting. This is the Tiangong 05, which you'll see is quite similar to the EHS7 or ES7 over there. This again looks like a wrap. That is definitely not an actual Hongqi colour, but this one is a little bit more luxurious inside, a bit more grown up than the 7. It comes with the big screen in the middle. Again, very much the same interior layout as we had on the Tiangong 06. And they've now got also the Tiangong 08, which is a larger one. I do again think this might be a wrap colour, but I do like it. This would be a good colour for them to go for, but as you can see, the real colour is blue. This one again goes with the same sort of leaf-shaped screen there in the middle, cup holders, a bit of a kind of a chunky central cockpit in the middle. This is kind of a nice metallic feeling material. It's not real metal, but it does feel a little bit like it. So yeah, it just feels like kind of a like an attempt to get into EVs that's just not really pushing it. Maybe it's to help their, I don't know, get some EV credits, or to maybe help them with targets to produce more electric cars. I'm not sure, but they're quite neat looking cars. The big thing at this show is the HS6 plug-in hybrid, which is this one, which gets Hongqi's traditional waterfall grille at the front, only not quite as bold as it used to be, a bit kind of slabby and chopped in there with the kind of the Hongqi red flag. Hongqi means red flag, by the way, in Chinese. The Hongqi nose down the front. This lady's doing a video, so I'm just going to try and sneaky peek into the back. As you can see, it's pretty nice actually inside. I like the red interior, but again, it's kind of just plasticky stuff down at the bottom. All the nice stuff is at the top, so they're not quite as luxurious as you might expect. Well, check that out. Twin, what seems like 15-inch screens there at the front. Didn't expect to see that. That's kind of quite exciting. Let's have a quick look in the back of the HS6. There we go. There's the script written in Chinese. That's a pretty big boot. Look at that. Huge boot. I'd say a good 600 and something litres. And those rear seats are really laid back as well. Check out how reclined they are. Big space under the boot floor, which suggests to me that this car is probably a front-wheel drive hybrid. So the engine and the motors in the front. There's the rake of those rear seats over there. That's quite cool. Dive into that front seat, by the way. There you go. Look at that. Two big screens. And I like the way they've got the Hongqi bit in the middle here as well. But only a single wireless charger. Head-up display though. And quite a nice little speaker doofer on top of the dashboard there. But yeah, that's kind of their new car. 2,327.343 kilometers on a single tank of fuel. I believe, I remember seeing that car had taken the world record for the furthest distance traveled in a hybrid on a single tank of fuel and battery charge. So that's amazing. Pretty impressive. I did not expect Hongqi to go for a title like that, but nevertheless they have. These are their standard hybrids. These have got a kind of more of a grille style here on the front. They're a little bit, how would I describe them? A little bit more chintzy, one might say. They are quite nice inside though. I'll briefly get a quick look at this. Kind of some plasticky style trim in here, wireless chargers that face the other way, interesting integrated screen on the dashboard there. They're quite nice. I'm just not sure I would have one myself just yet. And of course they've got their MPV as well, the HQ9, which is a plug-in hybrid. Is anybody inside? They're filming inside there, so I won't get too close to that one. GAC, home favourites, because they come from Guangzhou. They've brought a commercial vehicle, but I don't see the truck on the stand. Oh, they have, there is, yeah. So I'll tell you what, let's go have a quick look at a truck. Not often we get to look at a truck at a car show. So they've got what looks like it's called the T9. I can't read the Chinese name. Looks very kind of upright and square. It's even got stairs to get inside. This fella's having a look with his gimbal. Let's just prop that up there. You can probably see more than I can. But you've got a big screen in the middle, chunky dash. Looks like you can sleep in that cabin as well. This guy's coming out, that's nice. Just gonna film, okay? So there you go, look. See there, got a cool looking dashboard with a big tray. Got comfy seats up there. Got a skylight in the roof as well, and a bed there in the back as well. That's very nice. And it seems like it's an electric truck as well, which is good. So it shouldn't be a petrol truck, it will be an electric truck, which is very, very good. Very good. Right, this lady's having photographs taken. I'm going to show you their pickup truck. This was at the Shanghai Auto Show. It wasn't at Chengdu, I don't think. Look at the size of that. This is an enormous pickup truck concept. The wheels are just ridiculous. You probably think I'm looking at the lady. I am looking at the wheels because I'm a car nerd. But yeah, check out the wheels on that. Very Cybertruck-esque. That's probably about as big as a Cybertruck is in reality, but it feels a bit more jacked up than that. It's got camera mirrors, very kind of slab side. Those wheels are just enormous. I can't even begin to describe how big they are. Right, let's go to something a little bit less exciting than the pickup truck, which is Lexus. I don't think they've really got anything fancy for us today. The GX550H is quite a cool looking car, and you can get it with this overland tent on the top. Inside, very much what you'd expect from a traditional Japanese car. Integrated screen with the funky dials on here. Not powered on, so we can't see what that looks like, but yeah, some squidgy stuff and a bit of plastic in there. It smells quite nice, I'll be honest. It does smell kind of nice. You got your diff locks on there and your gear stick or your drive selector. Is that a compass? No, it's a start-stop button. These cars don't really do it for me, to be honest. I have driven one of these big V8 engined Lexi or Toyotas before, and it just felt a little bit slow. This, on the other hand, is quite cool, which is an old Lexus LS400, first generation. So they're just showing that off in this kind of retro cafe. 20 years Lexus have been in China. You don't see that many of them, I'll be honest, out on the roads. This looks like it might be their new car, which is the ES. I think we saw this in the Shanghai Auto Show. I think it was released in Shanghai, the ES 350e. I believe this one might actually come in a fully electric model and maybe a plug-in hybrid or micro hybrid as well, something like that. Looks like it's similar to the Toyota BZ7, which I'll show you later on the Toyota stand. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we've got the MPV over here, which looks like it's in the luxury 4-seater version. Well-dressed gentleman's having a look here. We've got kind of nice carbon fiber style details in there, lovely lily plant, big screen in the back. This is quite fancy on here, soft touch materials, zero gravity seats. So yeah, I mean, it's quite a nice way to get driven around, but I do think the electric ones have a better performance and probably ride quite well as well. I would like to see how that one rides, to be honest with you. But that's Lexus, nothing too exciting there. Now, one big disappointment for me, we've been seeing pictures of the iDunix 08, which is the first Volkswagen built on an XPeng platform online. And you know what? They haven't brought it to the show. They haven't brought it to the show. Why would you not bring it to the show? Instead, we've got the 06, which you'll probably recognize as looking very similar to a Tavascan. I think it's a Seat Tavascan in Europe. What I can show you, if we head further into the stand, is the concepts. These were shown, again, all in Shanghai earlier this year. Now, I've been at XPeng recently, actually twice in the last month. They have prototypes there of this car running around. So this was the concept called the ID Evo. And the production car, I can tell you, looks very similar to this one with this kind of feline looking face on it. So XPeng, it's built on the XPeng G9 platform. It's a collaboration because Volkswagen have invested in XPeng. It's also been announced that they're going to take XPeng's Turing AI chips and the XNGP assisted driving system as well, which is really impressive. So it's going to be called the ID Evo, iDunix 08 here in China. It's going to be, I believe, a 2-row SUV, but could possibly be a 3-row SUV. Again, looks very similar to that. They haven't brought it to the show, the production version, which is a real shame. ID Aura, this one is going to be built, I believe, by, it might be FAW, and that one by SAIC over there. But they have also got an XPeng-based version of a car similar to this style. Very good proportions on it, very sleek. I'll put a picture of the spy shots that I have on the screen so you can see what that looks like. That'll be the second Volkswagen built on XPeng's G9 platform, and it'll be a saloon, a pretty sexy looking saloon. So I'll show you that soon. Again, it comes with the same feline face as you get on here. Now, Volkswagen have brought us, I believe, some new saloons, but their big stuff here in China is just the petrol stuff. Just cars like this, the Lamando L. So there's nothing exciting at Volkswagen at the minute. They've got about 1 million SUVs and 1 million saloons, and they're all petrol, and they're just hemorrhaging sales to extended range EVs and plug-in hybrids here in China. They've got the Tiguan L Pro and the Passat Pro, but that's just your staple fare for Volkswagen. So that's it for Hall 1. We've got 4 more to go here in this second video of the 2025 Guangzhou Auto Show. Let's dive into Hall 2. Alrighty, into Hall 2 and straight into the BYD Hall. So BYD have 4 brands in China. BYD, Denza, which formerly was a joint venture with Mercedes. They've also got Yangwang, which is their luxury brand, their hyper luxury brand, let's say. And they've got Fangchengbao as well. Many of the Fangchengbaos going abroad badged as Denzas. Now, the car that we haven't yet seen at Denza is the N8L, which annoyingly is kind of covered off over there with ropes. Let me see if we can find one to look at. It's very similar, as you can see, N8L, very similar to the N9, which is the green one behind it. Seems a lot of action going on here. So let me see if we can get near one of these N8Ls. Someone famous has been followed by a whole bunch of cameras and stuff. One cool thing to show you, if you haven't seen this on BYDs before, you can now spec several of them with these drone boxes on the roof. So the drone can fly out while you're driving, it can record your driving from the sky, it can even go forward, you can fly it yourself and see what's going on with the traffic while you're stuck in a massive tailback. You can't fix it, but at least you can see what's going on. That's the N9. I want to get the N8L, which is here. Let's get a look at the face of the N8L. Honestly, I'm struggling to find out what the difference is between the two. The styling is a little bit different at the front. So the N8L has these lights down here, a few more details in the actual daytime running lights themselves. This is a plug-in hybrid, so it comes with, I believe, with a 1.5 litre engine in the front there, and probably 2 or 3 electric motors, I would say. In fact, I can tell you, because on the boot there is a badge, and the badge says E3, so that means we get 3 electric motors. So I think it's just a slightly smaller version of the N9, which is, as I said, another big competitor in China's growing 3-row 6-seater SUV market. So as you can see, we get a 3-row setup in there. We get quite good space in these back seats. They are heated and they can slide forwards and tilt forwards the backrest as well. We get a screen that comes down from the roof, a large panoramic roof up there. We get a fridge at the front and under the armrest where that fella's arm is there. So 2 fridges in this car. Bit of space under the boot floor, so quite useful, practical space. We have dual chamber air suspension on this. We get these lovely seats in the back that kind of recline, do all kinds of nice stuff. Twin tray tables on the back, DVLA premium French sound system, sun blinds in the rear windows as well. In the front there you can see a large screen in the middle, and there should be one in front of the passenger as well. I don't think he's touched it, but if you click on that, there should be a screen in that black panel there. This is actually quite a cool car, this. You can do some funky things with it, some things that will shred your tyres, some things that are nevertheless quite cool. But it's, yeah, I'm not really sure what it does differently from the N9. I think it's just slightly smaller. But it's called the N8L, which suggests that there is a smaller N8. There isn't yet. What there is the N7 over there, which does seem to be a bit of an afterthought at Denza at the minute. And honestly, if you look at the sales charts for these brands, for this brand in particular, Denza's struggling. Their sales are starting to dip quite considerably because Fangchengbao is picking up the slack. This is the Fangchengbao Bao 5, or Denza B5 as you'll know it in some markets, where it's going to Australia as the Denza B5. But they've got a few cars on here I want to walk you through. Let's see if I can sneak through this gap. This is the Thai 3, car that I really like. I haven't driven it yet, but you get quite a funky bonnet front area under there. Let's show you the interior, which comes with, again, lovely chunky off-road details. I believe they've lowered the prices, which is probably helping sales. Fangchengbao doing really well, over 30,000 sales a month, I believe, in October from memory. But nice details on here, these kind of ice cube details down there on the dashboard. You get some kind of electronic diff lock style stuff. You get a fridge in the armrest there to put small cans, good screen in the middle. And I want to try and pop open the frunk if I can. There we go. So I can show you what's going on under the bonnet here. Let's pop that up so you can see. Nice deep frunk under there, lots of space. You can't really sit on it as such, but nevertheless it does look quite cool. Lifts up that whole front bit there, and it's electric soft closing as well. You saw that, it just closed itself down there. Just a really cool styled vehicle, this one. I do like it a lot. I'll show you the back seats as well. This one may be going abroad. I honestly would take it abroad if I was them. This would really fit in the market as a, I believe you can get it in 4-wheel drive, so it should also be quite good off-road. There's the B5 over there. We've also got the Bao 8, which was their second car after the Bao 5, which is this one. The Bao 5 and the Bao 8 both come with Huawei's ADAS system, so not BYD's. See the blue lights over there. This is Huawei's ADAS system, triple LiDARs on top of the Bao 8. This is quite a luxurious car, but the one I want to look more closely at is the Thai 7, which is this one. These are all, by the way, all hybrids except for the Bao 3, the Thai 3, sorry, which is fully electric. This one is a little bit more subtly styled, I would say. It's not quite as exciting as the others. Very plain, not so many edges and divots and sculpting and things like that. But it's a nice car inside. We've got some pretty ladies checking out mirrors inside the car. This lady's laid back. You can plug in a tablet on the back of there. There's no screen up on the top, but you get a kind of a Land Rover style panel on the rear. I believe we get a side opening boot. There it is. Pretty good space in the back of there. Probably a good 600 litres or so. They're checking out a video, basically just blocking everybody else from using the car while they, sit in the back of here. So you can't really show the car because they're sat inside it, which is a little bit selfish. But yeah, let's dive into the front because I'm not really too fussed with interrupting their video session. There's the front of the car. In here we've got, again, a fridge which you can turn into heating as well, make it hot, make it cold, or turn it off. Again, large screen in the middle. I'm not entirely sure what the real difference is between this and the Bao 8 over there. It's probably just slightly smaller, but they're all pretty good off-road. That's the key thing, and that's why they're doing well. But let's quickly dive to Yangwang. Now I've got to go around this black fence, annoyingly, to get in, because they won't let you in through the exit, which is a shame. They should let us in through the front. Now, Yangwang, I've got to go all the way to the end of this rope now. Let's skip through all these people. Yangwang have 3 cars. That's the one I want to show you. That's the key. That's the U9 Extreme. Let's go through our little roped area and into the show stand. There we go. This is the one that holds the record for the fastest production electric car in the world. It's actually a limited edition, so not entirely sure quite how they get mass produced. I believe it's actually handmade as well. But they're the key times: 6 minutes 59 seconds 0.157 around the Nürburgring. It's about 5 seconds faster than the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra Nürburgring edition. It's also the fastest car overall in the world at 496.22 kilometers per hour, which is 370 miles per hour, something like that, which is absolutely insane. 4 electric motors in this. Dissus X platform, so pneumatic and air suspension. You get a very funky interior there with this slim screen down the middle, cool gull-wing doors, carbon fiber all over the place. You can get it with a massive fixed rear spoiler as well. Not sure if the one in the video has the fixed rear spoiler. It doesn't. Maybe it causes more drag than it does gives you downforce. But it's a great car to sit in. I've been around BYD's track actually, sat in the passenger seat of the normal U9, not the extreme version, and it's the handling, the grip that it had in the rain was just absolutely insane. Interesting fact though, I read a post on LinkedIn about the positioning of brake calipers, and normally on sports cars they put them at the back because they get more cooling in. Interesting, this one's got the calipers on the front where they're not going to get as much cooling, and the front brakes, as you know, are the most important ones. So that's interesting. This is the one I believe that actually completed the lap time around the Nürburgring. It's been signed with the time there on the bonnet. It looks very, very extreme. Really cool car. They also have, by the way, the U8, which is the funky car in the background over there that can float on water for 30 minutes. Again, that'll be in our BYD video showing you how that works. They've also got the U7, which I believe now comes with some new updates for 2026. Including, I believe, 4 electric motors. So it should now get the E4 drivetrain. A very amazing blue color, by the way, on this. Let me see if I can find out if it's an E4 on the back or not. You can get a hybrid version too. This is the saloon version. They have a kind of a shooting brake style version. Let's have a look at the back here. Any signs on the back that we get? Nope, no signs on there that we get the E4 platform, but great color. Absolutely love the way that looks. Let's see if we can find the shooting brake version. No, it looks like just saloons today. The shooting brake one's quite cool. Let's have a look at the interior though. Oh, E4, look, here we go. So it is a 4-motor version. And look at the interior there. I'll go on the driver's side. Oh no, this guy's filming inside the front. I'm going to try and dive in. This guy's having a look. Got kind of a screen built into the dashboard there. Another one on the passenger side, 12.3 inch. Same on the other side over there. And I believe these are coming to Europe in 2026, so look out for these hyper luxury cars. Very cool car, this one, the Yangwang U7. Right, let's dive out of this stand, head over to BYD Normal. They have not brought us anything new, I believe, to the Guangzhou Auto Show. this year. They've got a stand over there about their ADAS system, the God's Eye system. Haven't had a chance to really fully try that out yet. BYD, the brand that most people who don't know Chinese cars at least have heard of. They've just got absolutely bags of cars, so many different models. The Seagull over there, my absolute favorite, the little blue one, the Dolphin Mini or Dolphin Surf in some markets. This is the estate version of the 06. This is a hybrid. This is already, I believe, now in Europe. So pretty cool. We haven't driven that one, or maybe I'll drive that one when I go back to the UK, see if I can get hold of one. This is the Sea Lion 05 EV, which we have driven on the channel. Now, I said this one was coming abroad. I'm not 100% certain that it is, because they've just confirmed that the hybrid Sea Lion 05, which is actually a Song Pro from the Dynasty range down there, is coming to Australia instead. So we'll have to see whether that kind of comes through or not. It's a shame, because this one is better and it's newer, so an overall better car. Sea Lion 06 EV will hopefully one day replace the current Sea Lion 6, because again, that's a pretty old car. And yeah, the big thing they're showing off is their megawatt charging. This is where all the seats were earlier, so tomorrow there'll be a bunch of cars here. This is the 07 DMI. I believe this one, the 06 DMI, is going to New Zealand, I believe. That's what I've been told. This is the Tang L, which will go to Australia as the Sea Lion 8. I've done a review of that one on the channel. The electric version comes with megawatt charging. You're not going to get the electric version in Australia. You're going to get the hybrid version, which still, to be fair, gets up to 400 kilowatts of power plus 120 kilowatts from the engine. So it's a very funky car, this one. I do like it. It's nice. I think it's much better than the Chery Tiggo 9, if I'm being honest, and probably a similar price, but we'll see how the prices look when it gets to Australia. This is the Han L. This is the electric version. This also gets megawatt charging, like the Tang L over there. That might be the hybrid one, actually. That's the electric one over at the back. One car I do want to show you. This is the Sea Lion 6, which you guys have all got, which does very well in other markets, but honestly is not the best that China has to offer. This is the Atto 2 in Australia, or the Yuan Up here in China. I think it's also called Atto 2 in the UK. Now, this in China is an electric car. They're bringing a hybrid version of this to international markets, which is quite surprising. I didn't expect that. But if you want to see what to expect, this is what you're going to get. Pretty nice interior, lovely one-piece sporty seats. You get a single wireless charger, not ventilated, on the dashboard. A bit of physical switchgear. You do get a head-up display, not on this particular model, but you will get a head-up display, I believe, over there. It rides quite nice, this car. It's got good ride quality. It's quite spacious, as you'll see in the back. Loads of room in there for rear passengers. It is quite comfortable. I haven't done a full review on this one, but might do a review of that hybrid version when I get back into the UK, where I'm going for about 6 to 8 months. There's a bit of a premiere of that information for you. Go back to the UK for 6 to 8 months because my second child is on the way. So thank you for your congratulations, if indeed you're shouting that at your screens. So yeah, we're going to go and have our second child in the UK, which means we'll be covering Chinese cars there, and opening a new channel called Inside Auto to cover all the cool stuff that's in Europe that isn't currently available to me here in China. So look out for that channel. I'll be promoting it on other videos. I've got loads in the bank, so don't worry, we've got a lot of stuff coming anyway, regardless of when I'm going back to the UK. That's that Tang L. Right, that's it for Haul 2. Let's dive into Haul 3. And we are now on the Shangjie stand, as I mentioned earlier, or in part 1 of this video, the 5th brand of the Huawei Harmony Intelligent Mobility Alliance. Let's see if I can get you into one of these, because we haven't looked at this in detail. It's a little bit sloppy on the styling, not particularly exciting to look at, but it does come packed full of tech, soft touch materials, Alcantara style material there in the door, nice screen in the center. Let's dive in. Got a tray behind the screen there for keeping things in check. Nice big screen in the center with the Harmony operating system on there. A lot of speakers around, so pretty decent sound system from the looks of things. There's your rear seats, a bit dark in here, but we do get a full size panoramic sunroof, which is good. Plenty of space, by the way, in those rear seats. So you're going to be quite comfortable back there, and some kind of fake, I believe it's fake carbon fibre around the centre console there, just to tart things up a little bit. So yeah, it's a little bit on the bland side. This, at least this is not brown like it was in the Leapmotor C10. But oh, got my foot stuck in the door. But yeah, overall, pretty nice car. And as I mentioned, does come with Huawei's ADAS system, which is good. This is quite a cool little logo. This one, this twisty logo on there. You can get this car in electric or extended range form. So that is the H5 from Shangjie. Let's dive over to Audi. This will be FAW Audi, not SAIC. So Audis in China are made by SAIC from Shanghai and FAW from Changchun. Both of them are state-owned companies. This is FAW, so they seem to make the A6 and the A5L and maybe an A8 as well. They do make the Hawk, or Hawk, if you speak in German, the large A8 over there. They also are making the, this is quite nice, this is the, let's have a quick look around the front, I forget the name exactly, it's the A6L e-tron, so they're making this electric Audi. As you can see, this one has 2 LiDAR units down there in the bumper and a pretty large radar as well. This one comes with Huawei's autonomous driving system. So if you're looking for trends in the Chinese car market, everybody going towards Huawei's ADAS system is probably the trend to talk about. I'm trying to avoid this guy's camera over here because someone's presenting the new A5L over there. Lots of skimpily dressed ladies. Kind of want that can of whatever that drink is over there. Getting thirsty now. Again, not too much going on here. Again, they're still pushing petrol cars, although there's also an electric platform over there. Anything else worth looking at over here at Audi? Let's have a quick look at what's going on in these cars. Big curved screen, that's quite interesting. And a little one down here for the passenger. Lots of gloss black plastic though. I drove the Q6 e-tron in New Zealand. I think it's that one over there. And was honestly a little bit disappointed. Did feel quite plasticky. Now the cool thing about it is you get seats with base cushion extension, this lovely kind of link pattern on there, screens, but your phone charger is a bit different on this one. It's actually in a proper place, unlike the one that I drove in. But yeah, I think it drove all right. It was quick and powerful and the handling was nice and taut, but it's not an enjoyable car and it's got no space. The boot space was pretty depressing, honestly. So I'm not going to touch Audi too much today. I'll very quickly show you some very cool cars over here from Songsan. Now, I've been trying for ages to get in touch with these guys. In fact, no, I am in touch with these guys. I've been trying to get one of their cars and they keep telling me they don't have any to show. But look at that. It's kind of like a camper van, a Volkswagen camper with 6 doors. 6 doors, and as you can see, this lady in the back here, it's also got a seat that rotates and slides forwards and backwards. So it seems to be a seven-seater, I would say, not an 8-seater, a 7-seater, which is quite fun. Let's dive out of the way. That's the, it's called the Summer. Super light-up logo on the front there. You can't really see what the name is. These are all the different layouts. You can have 2 people sat down and someone lying down. You can have 2 guys lying. So you can basically lie all the seats completely flat. So it's like a complete bed inside the car, which is really, really cool. Oh, that'd be great, thank you. So this lady's going to let me inside the stand, which is great. Let's go and have a look at this Summer. Let's open this little door here. I think this lady might be doing a video, I'm not sure. So it's interesting stuff, this. They actually use platforms from another car brand, I believe. I think they've got a building license from Skyworth, but that's actually from another car, a real car that exists already. But we've got a touch screen in the center there, funky steering wheel, very white. Feels a little bit pre-production this, which makes sense because they told me they don't have any production versions ready. But again, nice comfy seats, love these kind of yellow seat belts on here. We've got a bit of hard plastic there on the door. I think they'll need to replace that with something a little bit softer. But yeah, in the back there, you can just lie everything down, lie all the seats totally flat and just sleep in this entire van, which is really quite funky. She's going to show me the 3 doors. Yes, yeah, thank you. So there you go, look at that. You've got a wooden floor down there. I'm not sure it's real wood, but there you go. You've got these funky seats, which feel, you know, fairly firm. Cool little hatch up there, look at that. Cool little hatch roof. and then a roof that kind of serrates back. There's another name for that, I forget, like a Venetian blind style roof, something like that. Interesting kind of stuff on the back of this middle seat here that slides forwards and backwards. But yeah, let's see if we can get hold of one of these at some point. Yeah, it's definitely pre-production because the window switches don't even work. But yeah, okay, door doesn't even shut. Oh, it does, there you go, shuts properly. So yeah, very interesting looking car, this one. They've also got a cool motorbike, this chopper bike here, which would be quite interesting. I'll close this door on this car. And they've got this one. This is built, it's like an old, I think it's is it a Chevrolet Corvette, something like that, a Thunderbird, I can't remember which one it is now. But this one is built on a BYD platform. So you can see that is actually, I believe, from an old BYD. Just looks super, super cool, like a kind of California cruising car. And you can't buy these anymore, I don't believe. They're still showing them off, but I don't think you can buy them. I asked them if I could drive one of these, and they said no. So I'm hoping that at some point, maybe we can. You can actually rent these, I believe, in Sanya. Quite the way that the white of the wheel is painted in there. Make sure I'm looking where I'm pointing. I've got mirrors like this on my old Mini back in the UK. These silver bullet mirrors. But yeah, very funky. This one's slightly different in that this is a two-seater version here. So this is a two-seater. This one's the full four-seater. So you got loads of space in the middle there, and a slightly different center console in the middle. So yeah, really cool stuff. And then over here, that one's called the Dolphin, funnily enough, even though BYD actually have their own Dolphin. And then they've got this, which is called the Rocket, which comes with these amazing blades. Look at these. Again, I forget what the actual technical term for those is. There was a real name for those back in the day. Again, I should be built on a BYD. Lovely, cool interior in there. Lots of red. Big bench seat in the rear. Check out how long that bench seat is. You can easily get leg support in there. No headrests though, and seemingly no rear seat belts as well. So not entirely great for safety. But I mean, imagine cruising around in one of those in China in 2025. It would be absolutely amazing. So that is it for Songsan. Let's dive over to Geely, see if they've got much going on over here. This is the Starray 7 EMI. I believe that's also now in Australia alongside the electric E5. They've got the M9 at the back over there. I'll tell you what they have got over here. Let's just go straight to the point. Just curious, so a crash-tested car at the back of the stand then. You will have seen the LEVC L380, which is an up to 8 seat in 4 rows electric MPV. Geely have now brought that car, still under LEVC, but inside the Geelygalaxy brand. This is now a hybrid version of that car. So it's electric drive still, but the engine can drive the wheels, and it's now got a much longer range. So it's got a kind of funny bulbous whaley beluga whale nose on it. It seems to be called the Reserve Edition, which is interesting. And yeah, honestly, they're pretty luxurious, these things inside. They ride really nicely. They've got very cool tail lamps at the back. I believe this car's coming to the UK. This is a 7-seat edition of this car. Someone's recording a video, so I'm going to get out of the way. There's a 7-seat edition of this car, but you can get 4 rows, so 8 seats in 4 rows, and you can get all 3 of the first 3 rows reclined with leg rests. Really, really funky looking car. As well as that, they've got, I believe this is, what have they called this one? I've forgotten the name now. It is A7. I was going to say A7L. It's A7. So this is kind of a cool hybrid saloon as well. I've not driven this one yet, but that one sips fuel like a scooter apparently. So pretty good fuel consumption on that one. And we've got now the updated version of the Geely Preface, which now actually isn't quite as good looking as it used to be honest. The Preface was such a good looking car. This one's been modified now. It's been changed to become a hybrid. It's got a different face on it. Just doesn't have the same cool proportions and style as the Peter Horbury designed Preface version of this car. Now it's called 6. I think it's called Starray 6 EMI. So just not quite as exciting, which is a shame because I did love the Preface. That one, by the way, also it's now called the V800, by the way, not the L380. The V800 is, so V900, what am I talking about? The V900 now comes with Geely's H7, I think it is, autonomous driving system. Right, that's it for hall 3. Let's dive into hall 4. into hall 4, where you have the Great Wall Motors brands all on one side. And the cool thing is they've got here, sadly we seem to have missed the demonstration, the climbing track over there at the back. Now you'll know that Chery actually failed the climbing of the Heavenly Gate stairs in Zhangjiajie, but there is actually an SUV, that orange one at the back over there, that drives up these stairs and over the top there. So Great Walls are a little bit more, seems capable of doing that, but they're proper SUVs, unlike the car that Chery tried to do it with. Just seemed to be a failure of communication. Had they spoken to their engineers, they probably would have learned that they weren't the best suited to doing that test. They said that something broke, I think, and that's why it didn't work, but nevertheless it didn't work, and it was a pretty bad publicity thing for them. This is the souo, I think that's how you pronounce it, or souo, which is the motorbike from Great Wall. I think it's an 8-cylinder engine under there. You can see there's 4 down at the bottom, so there's 4 on the other side. They've got a kind of a cool silvery version at the back there, but this is kind of a bit like a Honda Gullwing. Again, keep trying to get hold of one of those. We'll see if I can ever get hold of one. Now they have their poer pickup truck. So Great Wall is a private company in China, not a state-owned company. They have poer, they have haval, they have aura, they have way, and they have tank as well. But a lot of them now are being rebranded as just GWM, so they're being brought under the GWM banner. And it seems like they're going to start talking with really loud speakers. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, I don't need that volume on the back of this video. Let's try and escape that noise. I apologise every now and then to do presentations and the volume is always too high. So Tank 500, this has been updated. We showed that at the Guangzhou Auto Show. This is the Tank 400 that also has been updated. Love the purple colour on this. One of the funkiest looking SUVs on the market. This guy's doing a video over here. Let's have a quick look at the interior in there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Check that out. And then in the back here, plenty of space in there and a screen as well, up in the roof. There's a guy filming the fuel tank though, so I'm going to try and move out of the way. Oh no, this audio is not fun at all to listen to. This is one of the Haval cool dogs or something like that, I think. I need to try and escape Great Wall because the sound is too much. They are showing stuff on the screen over there, so you can see they're doing a demonstration or something. Let's see if we can find any cool ones. This is the big dog, Haval big dog. These have been in Australia for a while, the Haval brand. This one is the Blue Dragon, I believe that one says in Chinese. I didn't know they had one called Blue Dragon, to be honest. Right, the sound seems to have gone down, so we can head back into the stand now. They're doing a demonstration of Chinese mythical things here. So we've got I'll tell you, this is the car I want to see, the Aura 5. Right, so they've made an SUV version of the Aura Funky Cat. It's now just called Aura 5. As you can see, interesting looking car, curious proportions on this one. Is this lady in a video? Not quite, I'm not sure. There's your interior. Right, so you've got a lovely sort of white interior, got squidgy stuff on the dash, like this kind of ribbed style material here. Nice details with the speakers. Not sure I like the black switches, they would have been nicer in white. Big screen in the middle, ambient lighting around that center section. Space under the dashboard, single wireless charger in the middle, pair of cup holders, space for your phone, and a simple steering wheel with black toggles. That's when you have black toggles and black switches in a white car, it just feels like they haven't really tried, I'm afraid. But as you can see, it looks a lot like the Funky Cat from the back, but it's just called Aura 5 now. This one will almost certainly be going to international markets. It is fully electric. The Aura brand remains at the moment a fully electric brand, though I've been told that it may be going to plug-in hybrid in order to become more successful, because they are struggling a lot with sales. They're picking up slowly, but they have been struggling. As you can see though, they are rebranding all these cars with GWM on the back now. But yeah, quite cool tail lamps. You know, you don't have tail lamps down here as you get on normal cars. So I do still like the Aura styling, just not sure how well it fits on that SUV. But having an SUV in their range will definitely help sales, because everybody has SUVs. But yeah, that's interesting. I forgot to look for the GWM 5, the Aura 5. Anything else around here? We seem to have a sporty version with a nice matte grey exterior, and one with some guy's face on and some cucumbers or kiwis over there. Let's see if we can find anything good on here. This looks like a pink version, and that's a genuine colour you'll be able to get this car in. There's no wrap, that's the colour. There you go. A little bit gawky to look at, but let's see how well that does. Anything else to find? We've got the Voyah Taishan, we've shown that before. So Voyah is one of their other brands. They do hybrids, SUVs, and this MPV here, which is kind of funky. We've got the Lanshan, which may eventually go abroad. They have the Voyah Mocha, which I think is that one over there. That's in Europe at the minute. This is the Lanshan, which is soon to come with a fancy ADAS system. It does have a LiDAR on top of the screen there. Twin 15.6-inch screens in the front and one in the back as well. Plenty of space there with semi-captain seats, and you get, there's no fridge in this one, that's a miss, but you get nice speakers in there and heated, ventilated and massaging seats, plus 2 more seats in the back, as you can see. And pretty neat style, and I quite like the lights on the back of this car. But yeah, so that's the Great Wall stand. Lots of stuff going on, the Aura 5 being the key one for us. Now we've got Volvo. I'll dive over here. We've done a video already at the launch of this, the XC70. So Volvo's first large battery extended range, plug-in hybrid. So this comes with a pretty large battery in it. It comes with 3 electric motors. It's got some things that people have been telling me in the comments they don't like pop-out door handles and frameless windows. They don't feel those are Volvo things, which is fair enough. I mean, some people are really kind of into Volvo, and they know these kind of things, but I think it certainly feels like a Volvo inside. It's beautifully styled, as all Volvos are. I love the tail lamps on here. It is just a 5-seater, but I think it does 1,200 plus kilometers of range with up to 200 kilometers of electric only range. Let's see if I can show you the inside of one. I'll just dive into the back, I think, and show you the back seats. So yeah, a lot of good space in there. Really large panoramic roof. You got lots of leathers, ambient lighting behind this section here. Harman Kardon sound system, manual door handles here at the end of there. You can you can move your seats forwards and backwards as well, I believe. Was that the forward seat that goes forwards and backwards? Something moves forwards and backwards, but I'm not sure what. No fridge in here, which is a little bit of a shame, but there's your dashboard. Big large screen in the center. They've got some, like I said, mostly lovely materials in here. It's a nice car, honestly, and they kind of need that in China because people want these big battery SUVs. They've got an updated version here of the XC60, but I believe we've got an electric EX60 coming next year. Everybody's waiting for. They are not showing us the what do they call it? The ES90. They've just got the updated version of the S90, which is probably going to be on a sort of a rollout tour, I would say. It's still popular actually in China, the S90, doing pretty well. But they are still showing us, funnily enough, the V90 Cross, which is interesting because I believe Volvo are getting rid of the estates, which is a real shame, because everybody loves Volvo estates. Everyone loves estates full stop, especially when they're becoming popular in China. This is the time to have an estate in your range. Volvo, people know you for safety. Come on. XC90 has been updated again for this year. It's about 10 or 12 years old now, but remains as beautiful as ever, the XC90. I still like it, but yeah, it's a little bit still in the old world with the plug-in hybrid and the small battery. Maybe a larger battery, like on the XC70, would work pretty well. Other people are upset, by the way, the XC70 isn't an estate, and that's a fair criticism. It would be nice if it was an estate. Right, that's Volvo. Let's dive over to Mini. Nothing new going on at Mini as far as I'm aware. We have the Cooper here, the standard small one. We've got a JCW Cabrio. I like that back end, actually. That's quite nice. Kind of like that I can just look at the interior from the back here. Get some really funky features on these circular screens on Minis. I'm hoping to maybe try some when I'm back in the UK. This, I think, is also a Cooper. Where's the Aceman? I'm looking for the Aceman. Countryman, maybe I'll try that back in the UK as well. There's the Aceman over at the back down there, but yeah, nothing really going on. Now, another disappointment here. BMW have not brought us the iX3. which I find that quite frustrating, because it's a car they almost certainly will sell in China. It's had really rave reviews from people who've been seeing that car in Europe, but they haven't brought it. They've only brought the concept car, which, as you can see, it looks quite cool, and I do like the proportions on this. The front end is something that you will debate, I think, whether you like it or not. It's not that bad in person on the concept. Yet to see the production version, so I'll discuss that when I see it. But yeah, I mean, why have you got a huge dashboard display here and not bringing us the iX3? Just bring us the iX3. We want to see it. We want to see what the Germans are doing to compete against the Chinese cars. Instead, they're just bringing the usual stuff. iX1, 3 Series. What's that over there? The X and the 7 Series and the X7 SUV. But yeah, a little bit disappointing that they haven't brought us that. Instead, we just got the X5. So that's BMW for you. Nothing crazy going on here. We are now in Hall 4. Let's go to our final haul for the second part of the 2025 Guangzhou Auto Show into Hall 5. And here is our final haul of the 2025 Guangzhou Auto Show in part 2 of this video. We've still got 4 more hauls upstairs to cover. This is Cadillac. They've brought us an Escalade IQ, and in Chengdu we couldn't get in this car. It's an absolute enormous beast. Let's have a look at the dashboard in here. So look at this dashboard here. Curved display all around the back. Basically 3 separate screens, plus this kind of one here. It's quite interesting. It smells a little bit old-fashioned in here. There's something different about the smell of it. Cool kind of crystally wood on there. Wireless charger. 2 wireless chargers. One there, one here. That's interesting. Not sure how we open the glove box over here. There's no switch for that on there. It feels quite hard, the leather on there, so it's kind of a hard surface. We've got a massive speaker in the door. Look at the size of that. AKG. This is probably a famous audio brand that I haven't really heard of before. But yeah, some real wood in there, bit of gloss black plastic. Interesting screen down here for seats and doors and stuff. I believe the doors are probably electrically operated. Let me see if they are. Can I just touch that? Are they electrically operated? Yes, they are. So you can just press the button and the door will open, and it's pretty confident too. Some electric doors are terrible at opening. This is the Vistique, and I don't think I've seen the Vistique in person, and I don't think they're going to let us inside. No, they're not. So we can't get inside the Vistique. It's a bit smaller than the Cadillac, the Escalade IQ over there. Quite abrupt and upright at the back. It feels a bit like it's two ends pointed towards each other rather than a cohesive rear end, but the front end's all right. Front end's not bad. And then of course you've got the, I forget the name of it now, the other IQ something over there on the other side. They've brought this one, which I believe has probably won a championship recently. Driven by Frederick Vesti. And I think a Kiwi, Bamba, and a British guy, Aitken. So yeah, that's quite a cool looking car. It's nice to bring a bit of motoring heritage into these shows. It's nice because that's something that a lot of the Chinese brands don't have in terms of motoring heritage. Got a cool CTS over there, and they've got a time at the back there, which I think maybe a competition to change the wheels or something. That'd be quite a fun thing to participate in. Now I'm going to go to an interesting stand here because we're onto Mercedes-Benz, and yeah, there's as you know, I used to work at Mercedes-Benz for 8 years. I don't hold any hard feelings towards them, but there are some things I do have to call out, and one of them is this, which is a collaboration car with McDonald's. And I mean, it just encapsulates what to me feels like the fall of the brand in recent years. This is the new electric CLA, which has quite melty styling to begin with. As you can see, it's all got melty cheese over the back there. It's an Angus burger promotion. They've got a burger on the bonnet there and on the back, and these horns as well instead of mirrors. I don't know what they're thinking. Partnering with McDonald's, as much as I love McDonald's, although I'm trying not to eat them at the minute, as much as I love McDonald's, they're not a Mercedes brand. They're not a brand that Mercedes should be working with. This just feels, I don't know what they're thinking, honestly. doing this with the fluff, that's kind of fun. But again, I don't really see why they're doing it. This just feels like the cheapening of the Mercedes-Benz brand. And annoyingly, they've been showing pictures of that grille over there, and they haven't brought us the GLC. Just like BMW didn't bring us the iX3, they haven't brought us the EQC, I should say. The electric one, the new one that was recently launched. They haven't shown it here. Why not? This is what Mercedes-Benz do great. The SL, as ever, just looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, I criticise the design of Gordon Wagoner quite a lot because I think that these cars are getting a little bit chintzy and putting Mercedes logos all over the place. It feels a bit cheap and weird, but say one thing for the guy, he does an amazing coupe and continues to do stunning coupes. Speaking of interesting cars, also cool cars, this is the Concept AMG GTXX, the one that has travelled the furthest, a fully electric car, super fast charging on that, well over 1 megawatt, I believe, and they drove for basically 24 hours, just endlessly charging. Even George Russell, the F1 driver, got involved in that, and they did some pretty impressive achievements. But this is what I don't like. All this badging in the grille just feels, you know. But it's an electric car. It's 800 volts. It's got a really good range, so it's at least it's a step in the right direction. Trying to get back to engineering. The wheels feel a bit naff, honestly, but the interior, this is the interesting part. I'm going to dive in and be quiet here, but look at the screens inside. Tell you what, let's see if I can find you another. I don't think I can. I think this is the only one. But you see, they're going for very much the screens all over the dashboard there. It looks a lot like a Smart. And I feel the styling of the CLA has become a lot like a Smart saloon. If Smart made saloons. By the way, they are making a saloon that's been seen spied. It's on the way. But yeah, it just feels like the cheapening of the brand a little bit. I do like the coupes. The coupe is incredible, as ever. I do like this. This is the Vision Iconic. Now, I was at Mercedes when they released the Maybach Concept. I think it was called the Maybach 6 or something like that, or Concepts, I can't remember the name. It was very similar in style to this. This has got just dramatic proportions, enormous bonnet, and basically the roof only just about pops up above the waistline. This is the grille that they're going for. It does get some pretty 1930s vibes, which in terms of car terms is not a bad thing. It's just a concept, so there's no real interior in there. I do love the back end. This is great, but it's very similar to that Maybach Concept. Again, this is what Wagoner does really well. This is his best stuff. Coupes, concepts, things like that. But the production stuff needs some work, and the rest of it is just the usual stuff. It's just your GLCs and your GLBs and I'm not going to go to Kerda. They're the guys who do the weird custom vans here in China. There's another one here. This is Lorenza, who I can't stand, so I'm not going to go into Lorenza. What they do to cars is a crime against humanity. That's quite an interesting concept, though. A lot of space in there. Now, we've got a concept on the Beijing stand to look at. I don't know the name of it, because I haven't seen the name. I wasn't here for the presentation. But that's quite funky. Big wheels, boxy styling. Doors that are not there, so doors, I think they've got glass panels you can stick on as doors, and you can get digital mirrors. That's what they actually make. BJ40, yeah, BJ is an unfortunate name. They might have to change that in Western markets, I'm not sure. But that's a concept, so at least they brought something fairly cool to the show. And I believe, by the way, Beijing are going to international markets. I think they're launching in New Zealand, possibly Australia pretty soon, and might be going to Europe as well. If you are expecting them in Europe, this is what to expect. Reasonable interiors, to be fair. This is the brand, by the way, that makes Mercedes-Benz cars in China. So you've got twin massive screens over there. I don't know why they're not turned on. In the rear, I mean, nothing exciting, but reasonable amounts of space. This is fake silvery plastic. So you're not going to get anything super fancy, but you will get cars that can genuinely go off-road, at least. So if you kind of want to try that, this is a hybrid. The E is not for electric, but it is a hybrid. still should be a four-wheel drive car. That's kind of what you should expect from Beijing. As I said, more stuff is going to come here in the coming days. So tomorrow there'll be more cars on the stand. That's the Stelato S9T that I mentioned earlier, because they also are the makers of the Stelato brand from the Huawei Intelligent Mobility Alliance. There is a cool car over here. This is the arcfox MPV concept. I think it's a concept at the moment. I haven't actually seen a name for this car yet, but it's a 5.3 meter long MPV. It feels a little bit like a year too late, because last year was the year of electric MPVs. It may be a hybrid, by the way. They also make electric cars, but they've just made a hybrid, so this could be hybrid. Would make sense if it was. But I like the styling of it. Big, massive grille, as we're used to in China. Cool details across the front there. I like the two-tone styling with the purple and the silver, and the purple inside the spokes on the wheels as well. At 5.3 meters, it's pretty damn big. And I think that would make it the largest or the longest MPV in the world. It might be just shorter than the longest V-Class. As you can see, it's coming with some kind of assisted driving system as well, with the blue. That could be from Huawei, not entirely sure. Haven't seen the details of that car yet. They haven't given much about it. As you can see, they haven't shown the interior on it either. But the other car that they are pushing at the moment that's really done a good thing for their sales, because their sales were pretty stagnant, but what's doing very well for their sales is the arcfox T1. Now this looks like a normal hatchback. It's actually bigger than a Volkswagen Golf. It's fully electric, has a range of up to about 400 and 500 kilometers of range. Just dip my camera in the window there, you'll see large screen in the middle there, pretty nice interior, bit of space in the back there, slide around the back. Cool styling here with these arrow lights on the tail. Was in Beijing not too long ago, saw quite a lot of these already on the roads, so it's starting to do very well for their sales, and may well have just saved the arcfox brand. Not that they were particularly on the edge, but they do need to have more sales than they did, and they're getting there. So I'll just end with the arcfox concept. It's kind of a living room style concept, looks pretty neat over there. We can get a better look at it than we could in Chengdu. So lovely seats. Not many cars in China doing concepts now, not least ones with the world's largest gull-wing doors on them. But yeah, maybe that kind of stuff has inspired their new MPV over at the back. So that's it for part 2 of our 2025 Guangzhou Auto Show full show walkthrough. As ever, if you've got any comments, if you have anything interesting to say, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I like to reply to all of them and help people learn a little bit more about the Chinese car market. So thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for subscribing. If you do, if not, that button's right down there. Do us a favor and press that. And yeah, stay tuned for part 3. If you haven't seen part 1, you can go and check that out as well. If you haven't seen part 3, if it's not available just yet, it will be very, very soon. So check it out, coming soon, the final part of our installment here at the 2025 Guangzhou Auto Show. Thanks for watching.